This is the place I'm going to live. And this is where I'm going to do everything I do from here on in. And the world can come to me. And if you think that's a bold vision, then I give you Peter Jackson and Richard Taylor. Imagine that. Hey, guys, why don't we build the world's biggest special effects studio, biggest special effects studio? Why don't we do it in Miramar? And you know, if those guys in Hollywood want to use it, they'll just have to come here and use it, because this is where we live. Actually, I heard the other day somebody suggesting, they're saying, you know, imagine what it would be like if we actually rebuilt Christchurch better than we thought. Well, the only thing I would say to that is if you do, you didn't aim high enough. One of the most important decisions I ever made was that Dunedin was my home. I was going to live in Dunedin, and no matter what I do, from the bottom of the world, next stop, Antarctica, take some of the odds out, some of the options away, it would be done from here. Now, the interesting thing is that when you make a decision to run a business or build your life around the city, it is really, really important to find other people who share that vision. And if you're as average as I am, it really helps if they're a whole lot cleverer than you are. Which is where these guys come in. Look at those guys. 1989. This is an incredible story, because these guys from Dunedin in 1989 decided they were going to take on the world's best computer programmers, competition called the ACM Computer Programming Competition. And at that stage, it started in 1977, but at that stage, no university outside the US had ever won it. And it included the heavyweights, Stanford, MIT, Harvard, Caltech, you name them, they were on the list. Well, in 1989, this group of Otago University students added Otago University to that illustrious list. The first non-US team ever to do it. And they didn't think twice about it. It's what we do. We do it from Dunedin, we'll go up there and we'll win that thing. Well, the really cool thing for me was that at around about the same time, I just started this little joint venture with the university, and two of these guys were assigned to me, Craig on the left and Paul on the right. Now, the interesting thing is that both of them are still with me. And over the past 20 years, they've been joined by some other amazing people who share the same passion for A, our city, and B, our country. We will take on the world from here, and if we fail, we fail. I'll go make fish and chips. But this is my hometown. So I want to show you now where this amazing group of people have taken this pretty average bloke. You mentioned before that when you set up, Ernesto, you set up, you know, it's pretty important to set up and you've got all these people around you. It always is about we, and especially in my case, because I don't know how they do any of this stuff. So it's really they. The we, in my case, is the royal we. But anyway, we had to have a business plan, right? So we did, and you mentioned simplicity. You have got to look at the future here with simplicity. Our business plan, or our motto, company motto, was bugger the boxing, pour the concrete anyway. And let me show you where that's taken us. It's taken us, see, the other thing we decided was, here, we need another plan. How do we use all this flash technology to get to all the best sports events in the world for free? And as you'll see as we go through here, these guys have done a pretty good job of it. Actually, the other thing they do is this lovely, don't see why not, an attitude, don't see why not. So when I took up golf, I went into the guys and said, guys, I'm playing golf. I need you to get me to all the best golf tournaments in the world. Could you do that? Don't see why not. So this is what they built. It's a 3D thing. We do this all over the world. This is the US PGA Championship in Whistling Straits. And so I get to walk the fairways, these wonderful fairways, alongside Tiger Woods and all the players, all because I went into this room and said, actually, could you find me a way to get all these golf tournaments? Don't see why not. A couple of years ago, I get this phone call. Somebody said, do you do ball tracking for cricket? I said, no, we don't. Could you? Let me check. Guys, could we do what? Don't see why not. Yeah, we could do that. So anyway, we start off, and actually just to throw a little bit in, I offered the broadcaster the thing that we would build all the cities where the games were being played. So I asked them if they could do that as well. So this is what they did. It's really incredible. 2 weeks they do this. 2 weeks to build this. So we're in Perth on our way to the Gabba. Down we go. Now actually, when you take on challenges like this from a little place in Dunedin, you've got to think outside the box a little bit more. So here we are. This is how we designed that speed thing. And you see those red things there? Those are rod aurums. Jaffas. So you've got a Jaffa and the little hunk of wood there for the cricket pitch, plastic pipe, roll the Jaffas down the plastic pipe, watch them bounce, and see that camera thing? It's about $250,000 sitting on the rubbish tin. You need to be realistic, so we put a batsman and a bowler in as well. And this is how they did it. And at the end of that, out came the other end, this. It is one of only 2 systems in the world authorised to officially or officiate on LBWs around the world. Pretty amazing, isn't it? Now, one of the other things that's really, really important is that we only do things we like. So, one of the guys is a Formula One nutter, Craig, and Roseanne, one of our designers, used to sit on her father's knee watching Formula One races right through her childhood. So when I said, do you think we could do Formula One for the BBC? Whoop, don't say, absolutely don't. So here's what they do. That's Singapore. They get to travel all over the world. Look at this, Monte Carlo. So every race, every Formula One event in the world, they are covering. Last weekend, we're in San Francisco. Totally computer generated this. Okay, San Francisco. We're back for the America's Cup sailing. Now, the America's Cup was one of the first sporting events we ever did. And I can still remember going into the guys saying, look, New Zealand's racing in this really boring event. Do you think you could develop something that could tell us who was in front?